Good afternoon, everyone. As the Prelims 2024 exam is over for the GS paper, so here we are with the analysis of the GS paper. We'll give a detailed analysis of the GS paper with subjects of the previous different few years. So here, there are the eminent faculties with me who will one by one give the analysis of their respective subjects, the difficulty level, the moderate level, and we will even give the analysis whether the question was the dynamic or from the very static part. So if we here go with 2024, today's paper, let me just give an analysis and compare it from the 2020 onwards. So I would first love to call Mr. Vivek Singh sir, and we will here discuss the economy paper. He is the eminent specialist faculty in the economy subject, and he will give his detailed analysis from 2020 onwards till 2024. Sir, please.
Good afternoon to all of you. See, the question paper regarding economy, it has almost remained the same pattern as per the previous years. पहले भी around 15 questions were being asked. इस साल भी present 2024 जो आज exam हुआ है, इसमें भी around 15 questions थे, 15 plus 2-3 miscellaneous schemes. Now just let me tell you about the pattern कि पहले कैसा pattern था and what was the pattern for today's economy paper basically. Earlier UPSC used to ask separate questions for concepts and then they used to ask for schemes. Now since last year 2023, this change, what change I am saying is they are asking concept mixed with the current happening. So if some issue is going on, they are not going to ask exactly that issue. They are going to ask the concept behind that issue. So earlier the conceptual part was separate and then there was certain current affairs. Now, for example, in today's question paper there were 15 questions. So they are mixing the concept with the current events. Plus static, there is a new kind of question called static, means information based. So now we have three kinds of questions. One is concept mixed with the current issues plus some static information. Static information, what I mean is, suppose there is a money market instrument. Now money market instrument, you should know that fact that there is a particular collateralized instrument, that is money market instrument. This is not a concept, this is not a current, but it's just a static information. So we have this year, we have conceptual questions also, static information also. Current fact they have ignored. So mostly static information and conceptual, and all those students who have read economy thoroughly. A lot of students keep on asking me, sir, कि इस बार important बता दीजिए. मैं बार बार बोलता हूँ कि ये कोई कॉलेज एग्जाम नहीं है कि आप important ये रट लो हो जाएगा. तो जो लोग केवल important या summary पे फोकस किए होंगे, they are going to lose in this exam. जिसने भी thoroughly पढ़ा है इकोनॉमी को, वो सभी लोग इस पेपर को इजीली कर पाएंगे, क्योंकि दिस ईयर जो पैटर्न है एग्जाम का, कॉन्सेप्ट प्लस स्टैटिक प्लस करंट इश्यूज मिक्स्ड है एंड नो पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन कि ये चीज़ हाईलाइटेड है तो वही पूछें. 10 साल पहले कोई चीज़ रेलिवेंट रही है, जैसे इस बार उन्होंने पूछ लिया है कि जो फार्म क्लोज हैं वो फिक्स्ड कैपिटल में आएगा, वर्किंग कैपिटल में आएगा. तो ये बेसिक कॉमन सेंस. तो कोई करंट अफेयर्स या बहुत कुछ लोग करंट अफेयर्स से रिलेटेड, उससे कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. आपका कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर होना चाहिए और इन जनरल ओवरऑल थॉरो आइडिया ऑफ द इकोनॉमिक सब्जेक्ट इसका होगा. आई थिंक दे विल बी एबल टू हैंडल दिस क्वेश्चंस.
I will just interrupt you in between. What was the role of the newspapers, especially if we talk about Hindu, Indian Express and the NCRTs?
Okay, तो देखो अगर आप न्यूज़पेपर की बात करते हो तो न्यूज़पेपर, दोज हु आर रीडिंग न्यूज़पेपर थॉरोली, देखो मैं बार बार थॉरो वर्ड यूज कर रहा हूँ. क्यों? कोई ऐसी उन्होंने इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं कि एक वर्ड निकाल के पूछ दिया कि दिस वर्ड इज रिलेटेड टू व्हाट. नो, थॉरोली जिसने पढ़ा है और उससे जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग डेवलप हुई है, वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज गोइंग टू हेल्प यू इन दिस एग्जाम रादर देन मगिंग अप सर्टेन फैक्ट्स फ्रॉम सर्टेन मैगजीन्स और सर्टेन थिंग्स. वो नहीं आपको हेल्प करेगा. जो रेगुलर रीडर हैं, हैबिचुअल रीडर हैं, उनको पढ़ने की इच्छा है उस सब्जेक्ट की, दे विल बी एबल टू हैंडल दिस पेपर.
And any role of NCRT or any static books?
Of course, देखो NCRT आर बेसिक बुक्स, सबको पढ़नी चाहिए NCRT. तो NCRT से जो कॉन्सेप्ट या जो चीज़ आप हेल्प मिलता है तो वो तो डेफिनेटली हर सब्जेक्ट के लिए है. बट न्यूज़पेपर का भी रोल है, कॉन्सेप्चुअल चीज़ों का भी रोल है, बट वो नहीं जो कि जस्ट एक इन्फॉर्मेशन पिकर आर नॉट गोइंग टू हैंडल दिस पेपर. उनको थॉरो सब्जेक्ट को पढ़ना पड़ेगा और समझना पड़ेगा.
Sir, I was just talking to some of the students because there is a center next to our institute also. They were very much talking about your MCQ questions, that 500 questions, that a lot of questions are from the book and those questions.
Right.
So any suggestion regarding that also?
Again, I am releasing these MCQs since last 10 years. उसमें भी कुछ लोग बोलते हैं कि सर इसमें कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट बता दीजिए. देखो MCQ में कई बार ऐसा होता है कि डिट्टो एग्जैक्ट क्वेश्चन भी आए हुए हैं. बट यू शुड नॉट एक्सपेक्ट कि मैं डिट्टो क्वेश्चन कौन सा आएगा मैं कर लूंगा। जिसने भी वो थॉरोली क्वेश्चन को प्रैक्टिस किया, तो क्वेश्चन जो आप प्रैक्टिस करते हो उससे जो सेंस डेवलप होता है, दैट सेंस इज गोइंग टू हेल्प यू इन दिस एग्जाम। ऑल्सो जैसे क्लास है और बुक है, सम पीपल विल आस्क, सम स्टूडेंट्स विल आस्क कि सर कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट चैप्टर बता दीजिए। इंपॉर्टेंट चैप्टर्स नहीं होता है, आपको सब्जेक्ट को अच्छे से एब्जॉर्ब करना होगा और उससे जो आपको नॉलेज मिलेगी वो हेल्प करता है, रादर देन कि सर इस क्वेश्चन से ये चीज़ आ गया, वैसे नहीं चल रहा। अब यूपीएससी हैज चेंज्ड इट, नाउ यूपीएससी एक्सपेक्ट्स कि आप लोग रेगुलर रीडर हो, रादर देन जस्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन पिकर की कहीं से इन्फॉर्मेशन ले लिया, कहीं से इंपॉर्टेंट लिया, वैसे नहीं चलेगा ये एग्जाम।
Thank you very much, sir. So I will just give you analysis here regarding the economy. If you see 2020, there were 19 questions asked from the economy. Sir has already given you an analysis कि कहाँ से question कैसे पूछा गया था. So if we further move 2021, again there were 15 questions from the economy. 2023, 14 questions from the economy, and 2024 around 18 questions from the economy. Thank you very much, sir. So now I will request Saurabh sir, who teaches polity here, to come on the stage and discuss the analysis of the Indian polity with us. Welcome, sir. Saurabh sir, can you just please highlight about the polity paper?
Good afternoon, students. What I understand from this time, that UPSC is focusing upon the mix of static and the concept-based questions. For example, if you will see, the first 4 and 5 questions that I saw is more of static, is more of information laden. But what comes in the mind of the students that कि अब तो लग रहा है कि static ही पढ़ना है, तो ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है कि केवल static पढ़ना है, केवल conceptual पढ़ना है, मिक्स करके पढ़ना पड़ेगा। जैसे इस बार उन्होंने एक क्वेश्चन पूछ दिया कि ये पर्टिकुलर चीज़ जैसे इंटर स्टेट माइग्रेशन जो वो स्टेट लिस्ट में है या फिर कंकरेंट लिस्ट में या यूनियन लिस्ट में, तो अब सारे एंट्री स्टेट लिस्ट के और यूनियन लिस्ट के आप रट ही नहीं सकते उसको।
ऑब्वियसली थोड़ा कॉमन सेंस
काम करना पड़ेगा, या फिर ऐसा समझना पड़ेगा कि कुछ क्वेश्चन छोड़ने के लिए भी दिया गया है, बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली 100 क्वेश्चन आपको नहीं करना है, सो यू विल हैव टू जस्ट क्लियर। सो कुछ क्वेश्चन को आपको छोड़ने पड़ेंगे। उसके साथ साथ अगर आप देखोगे तो बहुत सारे कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्वेश्चंस भी हैं। जैसे आउट ऑफ 16 क्वेश्चंस अगर इस बार देखें हम लोग, तो 16 क्वेश्चंस में से करीब 12 क्वेश्चंस हैं जो बिल्कुल ईजिली डुएबल है। सो डायरेक्ट आपके लक्ष्मीकांत से है, डायरेक्ट आपके क्लासरूम नोट से है। 4 क्वेश्चन थोड़े से वो भी लक्ष्मीकांत से ही हैं, पर वो थोड़े इन्फॉर्मेशन लैडन है। जैसे उसने इस बार पूछ दिया उन्होंने कि ये वाले पार्टी बड़े पर्टिकुलर पॉलिटिकल पार्टी से एसोसिएटेड लीडर कौन है, तो ये सारी चीज़ें जो हम मिस करते हैं। तो अब ये मतलब नहीं है कि अब अगले साल हम सारे लीडर्स का लिस्ट बना लें और सारे पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज का लिस्ट बना के उसको याद करने लगेंगे। तो वी शुड नॉट गेट पैनिक कि यूपीएससी इज आस्किंग दिस क्वेश्चन। यू विल हैव टू थिंक कि यूपीएससी इज आस्किंग आल्सो दोज क्वेश्चंस दैट आर डुएबल, दैट कैन इजीली बी डन बाय रीडिंग Lakshmi.
So can I say it is just general knowledge plus general studies, a blend of both?
I will say now polity के रिस्पेक्ट में yes, it has tilted towards the general knowledge plus obviously it is a general studies which is going on for the last 4 and 5 years, which we will see the analysis. So yes, they are asking the question from the mix, general knowledge and analysis.
So again the same question which I asked Vivek sir, I will ask you. What is the role of newspapers and the standard book like Lakshmikant, which every aspirant reads? Because there was last year there was a hype among the students and paper doesn't come from Lakshmikant. So seeing this paper, what is your analysis about that book?
That's a very interesting question. And once I enter into the class, and this is a very common question of all the students, I just say that Lakshmikant is the Bible. So whether you like it or you don't like it, you will have to read that. Because without Lakshmikant, you can't have the confidence to go in the examination and attempt the question. So Lakshmikant तो पढ़ना पड़ेगा। अब आते हैं जैसे न्यूज़पेपर पे, तो न्यूज़पेपर में जो मैंने अभी एक क्वेश्चन में ऐसे आपको एज एन एग्जांपल बताता हूँ कि एथिक्स कमेटी के ऊपर एक क्वेश्चन है 1, 2, 3, मतलब इंडियन एक्सप्रेस में जो पॉइंट्स लिखे हुए हैं उन्होंने बिल्कुल वही स्टेटमेंट बनाया है। तो वैसे भी जीएस पेपर 2 में अगर आप देखें तो आईआर पॉलिटी और सबको लेके मैं सोशल जस्टिस गवर्नेंस को लेके चले तो ये न्यूज़पेपर रिलेटेड है। पर अब लड़कों के साथ क्या है कि सर न्यूज़पेपर में बहुत समय चला जाता है तो मैगजीन पढ़ लेते हैं। मैगजीन कांट गिव यू दैट इंफॉर्मेशन, कांट वाइडन योर होराइजन। यू विल हैव टू फोकस अपॉन द रीडिंग ऑफ न्यूज़पेपर। न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ के अगर आप नोट्स बनाते हो वो हमेशा आपके लिए ज़्यादा बेनिफिशियल होता है।
Thank you, Saurabh sir. Thank you. So I will now give you an analysis of the questions asked from the polity. In 2022, in the Indian polity, there were around 18 questions. 2021 16 questions, 2022 again 15 questions, 2023 18 questions, and here in 2024 again 16 questions. So more or less if you see, the questions are fluctuating between 15 to 18. So I will now request Kritika ma'am and Shubhangi ma'am for history to give us a detailed analysis of this subject. Welcome ma'am, welcome. Ma'am, the same question I will ask you guys also, as the paper is out now. So what is your analysis about the history paper?
So history this year, I would say it was a moderate paper. The paper is moving from moderate to a little bit of difficulty level. So generally UPSC used to ask concepts particularly, but this time they're moving more towards facts. Say for example, there was a direct question, says the fort of Batkal, the permission given to the Portuguese by which of the following ruler. So that was a direct fact.
Okay.
So now they're tilting towards the fact because again they're trying to make students understand that it's a factual subject.
True.
Plus some few questions are conceptual based. So it's a mix of both.
Okay. Shubhangi ma'am, my question to you is, when you talk about history, art and culture, so ancient, medieval and modern, how many questions were from there and how many questions were from the art and culture?
Okay, so this year we had 12 questions. Out of 12 questions, 8 questions are from art and culture and 4 questions are from modern. Now the weightage itself is giving us some of the indications that the segregations that students tend to do, that is कि ancient पढ़ लेंगे या medieval, ancient medieval छोड़ देंगे, modern पढ़ लेंगे या कुछ time period को छोड़ देंगे, ये वाली जो segregation है इसका again UPSC ने answer दिया है that there is no trend in UPSC and again we are seeing that ancient and medieval is getting more weightage this time, 8 questions out of 12.
Okay.
Yes sir.
And my, again ma'am, question to you. About the sources, apart from the class notes or the lectures which you people have delivered in the class, how much role NCERT plays here, or some books like Spectrum, Bipin Chandra and all other are playing?
So this time to put it on ancient medieval art and culture, so UPSC has not picked it from NCERT. So these questions were factual, but the level was a little bit difficult. I would call it moderate. So now the students have to listen to the teacher and from multiple sources. The sources are like scattered in history. But take it for modern, it was predominantly from Spectrum.
Okay. Shubhangi ma'am, I just want to know, any questions like this year from the art and culture, did newspaper play any role in that? Let's say about the recent, what do you call it, Indus Valley sites, Harappan sites?
Definitely sir. This year we have got 2 questions. One question is from the UNESCO World Heritage Site list and the second one is from the Intangible Culture Heritage list. Both the questions are direct and they are direct hitting factual questions. What art form has been included in 2023? Earlier if you look at 23, 22, 21, even if we are getting a question which has a reference from current affairs, the question was static. But this year the news article itself is the question and this is a change.
So
that
it seems students should not avoid newspapers. There is no alternative to newspapers.
True. Yes sir.
They can get magazines, they can get online analysis, but newspapers cannot be altered by some other sources.
Yeah, and one more thing, sir, this time UPSC has given us a clue that chronology plays a very important role.
Okay.
Yeah, so majority of the questions are chronologically based. So if you do not know the chronology of ancient, medieval, which art and culture, where it falls, and even modern, so that becomes a little bit difficult, but I put it again in the factual part.
Okay, and was there any questions repeated from the PYQs in history?
No. This
Not a
time
single
there
question.
was no.
Actually, I would like to add to what ma'am has said. Definitely, sir, it's moderate to difficult this time. Also, there is a new addition that is focusing towards prehistory. Prehistory is something that was not really asked, Chalcolithic cultures or let's say the rock art sites, etc. But this year we have got to match the following question. So that would be a new area that the students would have to now focus upon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I will just give you an analysis of the history paper, especially with respect history, art and culture. 2020, there were around 19 questions from this part. 2021, 20 questions. 2022, 16 questions. 2023, 13 questions. And 2024, 12 questions. Now, if you see the trend of questions which have been asked from the history, slight there is a decline in the questions. But as ma'am said, whatever questions were asked, they were from moderate to difficult level. So there was a fact, again, a blend of general studies and general knowledge. So I would now love to call Jwala sir to give an analysis about the science and tech. Welcome,
Good morning,
sir.
Good morning to all of you.
Yes, sir. Sir, I would like to ask the same questions as I'm asking it to other faculties. Science and technology, students generally take this topic very lightly. कि ठीक है, science है, पढ़ लेंगे. Now here I want to know, in this particular paper, if we talk about the basic science of class 8, 9, 10, if you talk about chemistry, physics, biology, and if you talk about the technological part, biotech and science and tech, how different paper was?
Sir, I would always mention this, that science and technology, most of the aspirants, they tend to ignore this subject. So even engineers or students coming from science background, they also do not focus on science and technology. But if you see at the number of questions that UPSC is asking, you will not see that it is dipping, that nearly around more than 12, 13 questions are coming from science and technology. So looking at the basic part and the technology part, so if the questions, if we see and analyze, then we'll see that you cannot answer even technology questions if you do not have your good gripping in your basics.
Basics, true.
So they are asking some questions on like giant star का लाइफ ज़्यादा होगा कि डॉट स्टार का लाइफ ज़्यादा होगा. तो इसके लिए भी आपको बेसिक्स पता होने चाहिए. न्यूक्लियर फिजन क्या होता है, न्यूक्लियर फ्यूजन क्या होता है. तो उन्होंने फिजन फ्यूजन के बेसिक क्वेश्चंस पे भी, उसके ओरिएंटेड जो टेक्नोलॉजी है उस पे भी क्वेश्चंस उन्होंने फ्रेम कर रहे हैं. सो वील ऑलवेज हैव टू गो फॉर अ बैलेंस बिटवीन द बेसिक पोर्शन एंड द टेक्नोलॉजी पोर्शन. Considering the level of difficulty, I would still rate it as difficult. Moderate to difficult, higher on the difficult side, because it's more of dynamic in nature. So the things that we generally cover in classes, let's say space and defense and nuclear, from those sections they have asked less questions, but they are now focusing more on energy sector. So fuel cell क्या होता है, biofuels क्या होते हैं, और फोटोवोल्टेइक सेल्स, तो ये वाले पोर्शंस पे उनका फोकस है. तो इसलिए आप देखो कि सवाल भी उस पोर्शन से ज़्यादा पूछ रहे हैं वो. एंड देयर वुड बी सम पोर्शन व्हिच इज कोलैबोरेटिंग विद environment also and
true. There are a lot of questions
and
like this. So one more thing I want to know. Here again it comes that newspaper play a very important role. Or what about the static books, very basic books of NCERT? Is it very much important for the students to read them?
So in science specifically, reading the basics would give you a good grip to understand the technology also. So reading at least 9th and 10th standard science NCERT, the chapters on physics, chemistry, biology, will help you build the base to understand these type of questions. So they are prerogative that we should be doing it.
So what I personally feel that without knowing what is reflection, what is refraction, scattering, or if you talk about what is cell, if you talk about a biology part, or without knowing animal kingdom, plant kingdom, I don't think biotech part even will be comfortable with the students.
Yes, sir.
So it means students should go with the NCERT, and apart from classes, whatever teachers are teaching them, they can not leave newspapers at any cost. There is no alternative to the newspapers.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I will now give you analysis of the science and technology. 2020 from science and technology, there were 14 questions. 2021, again 13 questions. 2022, 14 questions. 2023, 10 questions. And 2024, 11 questions. So if you see in science and technology part, the questions are again fluctuating between 10 to 15. So it plays a very important role in your prelims. Now, myself, Aneet, I will give you an analysis of the geography and environment. Before going with the analysis of the geography and environment, this year what we have observed specially, UPSC has gone back to the old pattern where the elimination method is back. That doesn't mean completely elimination is there, but yes, you have few questions in which the pair-based options were there. But this year we have seen a trend again of the elimination base. Level of the questions, keeping in view, listening to the analysis of the different faculties of their respective subjects, I came here to the conclusion that the level of the paper was from moderate to difficult level. I will not say very difficult, but it was moderate to difficult. Now with geography, environment and ecology, let me first come with the geography part. Geography paper this year was very easy paper. Especially what I found in geography, majority of the questions were repeated from the PYQs. Yes, we cannot deny the fact, geography is basically a conceptual part. So majority questions were from the PYQs with some static part. Yes, there was a dynamic approach also in the questions, and we have seen the questions from the geography portions are increasing. I will give you that analysis also. Now, for geography, what I personally feel, NCERT are the basic foundations. PYQs, as I keep on telling the class, there is no alternative to the PYQs. Test series and all are there, but you cannot ignore the PYQs. NCERTs, PYQs and class notes, I think they were sufficient for the geography paper. Now, if I go with the geography analysis, starting from the year 2020, in 2020, geography there were 12 questions. 2021, there were 13 questions. 2022, again there were 13 questions. 2023, 17 questions. And again 2024, if you move to geography, there were 18 questions. So again, in geography, the questions are fluctuating from 15 to 20. Now, if we move towards the environment part, yes, there has been this year seen a drastic shift in the environmental part. There are some questions asked in the environment which has linkage direct with the biology. There are some questions asked with the environment, especially in the pollution, which are directly linked with the science and tech. This year, what I have observed in the environment and ecology paper, static part was very less. Like if we talk about ecosystem, food chain, energy, trophic levels, biodiversity, very less questions were there. From environmental conventions, questions were very less. So they have asked few questions from the legislation part, and mainly the question was very much dynamic. Especially here again, newspapers cannot be ignored. Direct questions were from the Hindu newspaper and from the Indian Express part. So nothing can replace environment and ecology with respect to the newspapers. I keep on advising students that read newspapers regularly, but majority of the students are in the impression that environment and ecology means the static part of ecosystem, food chain, biodiversity. No, climate change, pollution, important. If you talk about sites, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, they were of importance, but this year they have not asked a single question from that part. So if I go with the analysis of the environment and ecology, 2020, there were 16 questions from the environment. 2021, again 16 questions. 2022, 15 questions. 2023, 14 questions. And 2024, again 15 questions. So if you take geography and environment all together, near about you will get 35 to 40 questions every year. So what I mean here, geography, environment, science and tech, economy, polity, history, these are the basic founding pillars for your prelims. Now, there are a lot of questions from the miscellaneous. What I mean here by miscellaneous, either these questions are overlapped, maybe one option is from the science and tech, another option is from the economy, maybe another option is from geography. So there are a lot of parts in the miscellaneous questions which are linked with the international relations. So if you talk about current affairs part, this year current affair weightage from the environment was good. What I mean by that current affair is from your newspaper. Convention based questions were not there. International relations, or when you talk about map based questions, students generally waste their time doing the mapping of the whole world and wasting a lot of their time. I keep on telling students, whatever map locations we made you to mark in the class, just focus on that, and if any location is there in news, just make a note of it. So my advice will be, rather than just going with the all continents, their resources, their vegetation, population, please avoid that. Try to focus on the class lectures, and apart from that, whatever is there in the newspaper. So we will be coming up at the 5 p.m. with the detailed analysis of the paper. There will be again the same faculties with me which will be discussing about their paper. Thank you very much and all the best. Let's crack it.